Hi, I'm Mike Concannon. Lots of people asked me how to tie a monofilament leader onto a modern braid line. There are lots of knots about that people use, some of which work and many of which don't. I'm going to show you the one that I use that I can guarantee will work. It's 100% knot, it doesn't cut into itself, and it really does tie these together very safely. Bear with me, watch, practice it at home in front of the fire, and you'll be able to tie this knot reliably when you're out on a rocking boat, no problem. Okay, here we go. I've got some very fine braid line here, which is I think about £15 in breaking strain, and some similar monofilament. The mono is red, the braid's white. Bear with me and we'll do our best to do it for you. Yeah. Pass the mono over the braid, just across it, like so, yeah? Make sure you've got a nice long tag end, probably 12 inches or more. Go round the braid, pass the braid round the mono. I go round in what for me is an anti-clockwise direction here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I make 10 turns of the braid round the monofilament, just straight round it, because the braid is so much thinner than the mono. Then I bring the end of the braid back and I pass it between my thumb and my finger here against the mono. So what I end up with is a loop like so, yeah? And then in the same direction I pass the braid again round the mono 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 turns. And you'll find, when you fiddle with it a little bit, it will come out the same end of the loop. So what you end up with is that, yeah? See that? I pull it flat now, I've got that. Now if I give that a lick so that it doesn't dig into itself, it lubricates the knot. And then I get hold of the two ends of the braid, which is what I've tied the loop in. One end there, the other end there, and I very gradually can ease that knot up by pulling on the opposite ends of the piece of braid. If I'm very careful about how I do it, that will ease up into a little round knot. If it starts to bunch, flatten it out the fingernails and pull it again, till you end up with, see that, very neat little knot of the braid around the mono. Now we're going to do the same thing with the mono around the braid, but I'm going to need less turns of the mono because it's thicker than the braid, and 6 turns should be enough. I'll probably do 6. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more for luck, 7. Don't ask me why, you often need one less turn coming back in the opposite direction. I think it's a matter of where you start the turn. So then we've got that straight across there, yeah? Holding that near the other knot, the braid knot. Now I'm going to pass that end between my thumb and forefinger, so, and just hold them over that loop and go back 1, same direction, 2, whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, 5, and 1 more, 7 turns one way, 6 turns back. That's what it's taken with the mono. And you'll find that the mono sits within itself. The one loop sits next to the net. The one twist around the line sits close to the one that you did on the first pass. And you've got it like that. Plenty of spit to lubricate it. Hold the two ends of the mono and ease it together, but don't pull it too tight. Just ease it so it's a reasonably loose knot. Can you see that? Now, lubricate the whole length. Get the mono in one hand and the braid in the other. Ease them together. And that's the spool just falling on the floor. Now when you've eased them together, then you can tighten them down. If you try and tighten them down before you ease them together, you'll strip the surface off the braid with a mono, or you'll burn the mono with the heat of the braid pulling through it. I've got two ends of the mono now, and I'm going to tighten that knot by pulling onto two ends. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the braid. Tighten that braid knot right down by getting hold of the braid at each end and pulling. And now we've got two little knots round the line next to one another. We pull again, they'll snug up together really tight. See? Lovely knot. How neat. Now we'll get a pair of scissors and we'll tidy the job up. We have to be careful to cut the right piece of line, because many's the time I've cut the actual line itself rather than the tag end, and then you have to start all over again, which is nobody's fun. This you can cut off very, very close to the knot, because it is a non-slip knot. It's very strong. Braid off, mono off. There's our knot. Let's take a couple of turns here. There's our knot, our finished knot there. Pull it really tight, really strong. And that, gentlemen, is the double grinner, the best knot that I know for joining braid to monofilament. You'll find that the mono will usually break before the braid. The knot will inevitably not break because it doesn't cut into itself. Works very well. Enjoy. And catch some big fish, please.